Very happy morning, my fellow Toastmasters. It takes an immense pleasure to welcome you all for today's session.
Good morning.
Learning is a journey that never ends. And I'm Monisha. I'll be the MC, Aga the guide, who will be guiding you throughout this meeting. So let's get seated, fellow Toastmasters. I'll be taking you all for an enriching journey. So are you ready? Signal thumbs up if you're ready. Okay, thank you. Love the energy. Okay, firstly, I would like to recognize the presence of our trio, the District Director, Toastmaster Satish Menon, and our Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Aarti Mangalam, and our Club Growth Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Gayatri, and all the past and present Division and Area Director present here. And I also like to recognize the presence of our keynote speakers, DTM Brilliant and Toastmaster Kalyan. So growth is the only evidence of life, be it personally, socially, or professionally. And club's growth is not a different either. So we have our club growth director, distinguished Toastmaster CG Gayatri, who will be addressing our today's meeting. Distinguished Toastmaster CG Gayatri is a project manager in DXC technology and is pursuing her post-graduation in artificial intelligence and machine learning. And she also worked in various roles, including pre-sales consultant, operation manager, and design architect. For the last 8 years, she's been associated with Toastmaster International and has served various positions at the club level, area level, and been division director at Division K and district logistic manager. She's been a club sponsor for 2 clubs and club mentor for 3 clubs. Now, spotlight on you, distinguished Toastmaster Gayatri. Over to you.
A very good morning to one and all present here. Club mentoring is something that I did even before I became an area director. And I should say, when I did that club mentoring, I have learned more of don'ts than do's because there were few things that could have been done better. And then when I became an area director, I chartered a community club. And then I was a club mentor for that club. And let me tell you, that 1 year of chartering the club and then mentoring it was definitely one of the toughest phase in my life. We had the meetings on Sundays, Sunday evening. So I did not spend any time with my family on Sunday evening. We didn't go to beach or we didn't do anything of that. But still, I was happy going there. I was happy. Probably my family was cribbing. That's a different story. Every Sunday I have to compromise on my afternoon nap also because the meeting was around 4 o'clock, which meant I have to leave my home around 3. So I used to have a little bit of hesitance in starting and going to this club. But every time, I'm not exaggerating. We had probably 3 people in the room. We had probably 4 people in the room. But every time after the meeting concluded, I had a beautiful zeal of energy inside me. I was a very happy person. And that kept me going for the entire 1 year. We started running the demo meetings in the month of June. The club was chartered in the month of February. And then the club was just chartered. Okay, we had 20 people, but it needed a lot more of work for another 1 to 2 years. We had to shift the venue. We had to bring in more kind of people to be part of it. Today, it is one of the strongest community club. I am not part of the club. And today I would say the club is very strong because I was there for the club and I was not there for the club. So I was there until the club was getting into a self-sustaining mode. When I saw that new leaders were taking very good care of the club, I was just following what they wanted. I stopped taking control and then I let them lead the club. Today, definitely it's one of the club where there are so many leaders. In fact, I was part of the last milestone meeting, and I think we had about 10 district officers from that club. District officers like area director, division director, district trio, in various roles. And that happens only because the club kept on creating new leaders. It was led by the new leaders. Even I think the current president is one of the youngest. Now, this club is not just a Toastmasters club for me. To me, it's a life lesson. It's about how to work with the team, how to learn from the team, how to let the team lead us. And after this club was chartered, I changed as a different person, because all through my life, my mom would always say, if you want to do something, do it on your own, become an entrepreneur. You have the skill in you, because she was an entrepreneur by herself. But seeing her not having a very pleasant time, entrepreneur's life is not that pleasant. I mean, whatever said and done, when you work for a company, you have the salary hitting your account every month. That comfort is not available with an entrepreneur. But she would always say, you can do that. But trust me, until I chartered the club, I never had that thought. But after I chartered the club, I thought probably I could do it. And then once the club reached that stable stage, today I feel that one day I will be able to do it. So this is not just a club mentoring or club coaching or club sponsoring. It is one of the toughest tasks that you will take. I'm telling that right away to you. But once you finish it, you will be a very different person, somebody whom you never imagined yourself to be. That is the beauty of the process. And today we have so many people who have been there, done that, and waiting to help us all through the journey. So today you are not the first set of club mentors or coaches or sponsor who is going to work. We have a plethora of experienced people waiting to help you and tell you that, okay, this is going to be a challenging phase, but just hold on for some more time. I can get you a resource to help you. So today it's all about discovering that part of how we can do it, what to do, what not to do, so that we all can rejoice this beautiful journey. I would say club mentoring, coaching, and sponsoring, if you do it in the right way, it is much more beneficial and fruitful than even a district leader role, because it is not in any way lesser than a district leader role like an area director or division director. To me, that is one of the reasons why TI has made it as a very, very important aspect of a DTM journey as well. So I wish that all of you get to experience this beautiful journey at some point of time and experience the transformation that comes along in a beautiful way, so that you can feel great about you can see the creation that is your club and feel proud of what you've done to a lot of people. I really wish that you get to experience this journey. On that note, back to MC.
Thank you. So before that, let's make this journey a memorable one. We'll have a group picture. So I request all to turn on your video so we can take a groupie. Okay. Thank you, everyone. It's very energetic to see all your sparkling faces. So I hope you keep your videos turned on throughout the meeting. So, and also kindly mute yourself when the speaker is speaking. So before we depart on this journey, let's refresh ourselves with a fun quiz session. So Zoom Master, can you please launch the quiz poll? Could you please launch this quiz poll? Okay, I think it will, until then, let's hear from our some of our guests here how they looking forward for the
Monisha, there's some technical difficulty in launching the poll. I would suggest you to move on while we look into the issue.
Yes, okay. Okay, then let's begin our journey. We now have an education session by DTM Brilliant. So as we have the educational session, at the end of the education session, I request you to drop any questions in the chat box and it will be addressed at the end. Distinguished Toastmaster Brilliant is a Toastmaster since 12 years. He has helped build more than 100 clubs across the globe, and he has He was the top club sponsor for 3 years in a row from 2014 to 2016 at Toastmaster. He is currently a member of Bombay Toastmasters and All Elite Advanced Toastmaster Club, and he was the Region 13 advisor in 2019 to 2020. Professionally, he is a senior vice president and head human resources with the Times Professional Learning and EdTech division of Bennett, Coleman and Company Limited, Times of India Group. So ladies and gentlemen, please put together to invite Distinguished Toastmaster Brilliant to this virtual stage. The spotlight is on you, Distinguished Toastmaster Brilliant.
Thank you, Monisha. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. From whichever time zone you may have joined in, I'm so excited to see all of you here today. Before we begin, a quick check. Are you physically, mentally, virtually present here? Yes, no, thank you. Great. Excellent. One of the things that we face as a challenge consistently in a virtual world is the fact that many of us are in a virtual mode where we really don't know whether the other person is on, off, or probably gone off to sleep. So thank you so much, district trio, district officers, leaders, and I would say change makers for joining this session today. And here is something interesting and probably shocking for some of you. Most of us, I'm not saying all of us, most of us tend to look at life from a different lens, a lens which is called as the lens that gives us credit. Credit for everything that we do at Toastmasters. And this session, I would just like to say one thing to all of you. Credit will always come. You should not be worried about credit. What should be your concern or your focus is about making change, making a difference in the lives of people. Because at Toastmasters, we always know that when we bring a club to spotlight, when we start a new club, we are not just changing one person's lives, but we are touching many, many members at one go. Having said that, I would also want to say this, I don't prefer credit at all. At all times, I prefer cash. So I'll send you my Paytm. If you want to send me a party, once you charter a club, or sponsor a club, or a mentor as a club successfully, do send me a gift in the form of cakes. So let's begin. This journey is all about understanding who's a sponsor, who's a mentor, who's a coach, right? We all heard this term so many times. So let me give you an analogy. How many food lovers in this room right now? 100%. Chennai, I can't believe there are no food lovers. Excellent. Now let's say, since the district director is here in this room, Satish decides to celebrate the success of this training session today. And he takes us to Hotel Grand Chennai GRT. Satish has taken us there. His job is done. Then, since it's a part of the trio surprise, Aarti decides that she will help you understand what are the specialities, what is the food that is good, what is the thing that you should order first, second, and third. These two have done their duties, and Gayatri is wondering, I'm new into this team. I'm the entrant into the trio. How can I make a difference? What can I do? And her role comes in only when, worst case scenario, Satish and Aarti decide, let these people stay here, let them fend for themselves, let them pay for themselves. And that is when, if you have seen old movies, especially Tamil movies, you will know that many a times when you don't have money to pay, you are forced to wash utensils. And Gayatri is there to help you overcome that challenge so that you don't have to wash those utensils and you come out successful. Now, if I use that as a metaphor and plug in here to these three roles that we are talking of, Satish is very similar to a sponsor. Aarti is very similar to a mentor. and Gayatri is very similar to a coach. Let's understand in detail what exactly does a sponsor do. Any thoughts on what does a mentor do? What does a sponsor do? You can unmute yourself and speak. If the sponsor is good, the mentor will have an easy job and a coach will have no job. Wow. Wonderful.
So Dr. Brilliant, sponsor, this is Cyril. A sponsor is a person who will help in the chartering process. Also initially to get the right minimum people, that is 20 members identified, but most probably he is the person who will do all the documentation work along with the 20 members and filling and sending it to TI.
Excellent, excellent. So the bigger question to ask is, why should we sponsor a club? Isn't it? Simple answer, and probably it's a one-line answer. Anyone wants to help me with that? One-line answer.
To get the benefit of Toastmasters, what we have got, we should give it back to others.
Spearhead.
Yes, Punavi.
Yes, to spearhead the process.
Sorry?
To spearhead the process. Someone has to spearhead.
Right. I would say, forget about all of these. Just look at the district mission. What does the district mission say? It says that we help build new clubs, right? One of the key elements is to build new clubs, and the only way to build club is to start by sponsoring. Now the question is, why would you really want to sponsor a new club? Why? We know the district mission. Yes, it exists. We heard what Kundavi said. We heard what Tabassum said. But there are more benefits. As if you remember, sorry, Gayatri, I have to say this. I was planning to make this statement, but you stole that from me. Taking up role of a sponsor, mentor, or a coach gives us learnings for a lifetime. And I'm saying from experience that it is something which you will never forget. It will always be there in your books of history to say, this is my experience. This is what happened when I chartered a club. So experience comes in. Then we look at what are the duties of a sponsor. So why sponsor? We heard people say, help spread the Toastmasters movement. And Kundavi, you said it right, that what we have benefited and learned, we need to share with others. Then we have the most important part, which many of us aim for, which I started the statement by saying that there is a credit attached to it, right? Now this credit is there, but I would encourage you to don't focus on credit only. Credit will come in due course, but it's important for you to make sure that you understand the duties of the sponsor. Now, why are we having this session? And thank you, Gayatri, for planning this session. The reason is, many a times, based on our experiences, based on what we have heard, there is always a thin line between understanding what the sponsor does, what a mentor does, and what a coach does. And many a times there are overlaps and people believe and assume that this is what needs to be done. This session is all about creating the awareness so that when you go out there trying to help build a club or sustain a club, you know exactly what you're expected to do. The key duties, as Cyril said, right? Helping the club charter. Now that is beginning at the very start. Now, very typical cliched statement that start at the beginning or begin at the start. That is what you need to do. You need to help in organizing the new club. As a sponsor, it is also your responsibility to make sure that you arrange for regular meetings. It's not a one-trick pony that you said, okay, this is the paper, this is done, my job is home. You need to make sure that you are helping the club start meetings, starting with the first demonstrative meetings. Now, there are thousands of questions that come in terms of what should a demonstrative meeting consist of? How much time should I spend? And this is where I will ask you to think beyond what is stated in the documents. You need to understand your TG or your target group. You need to understand what works for them. While we want to give them a flavor of everything, I don't need to stretch beyond a particular time, because after a period of time, the interest may wean off. And that is where, as a sponsor, you need to start thinking about first demonstrative meeting. What are the things that you will be talking about? First formal meeting, what are the things that you will be doing? And as Cyril rightly said, complete the paperwork, submit the documentation to TI. Now, this is very critical. When we talk of paperwork, I'm speaking from experience. Since 2009, when I started working with clubs as a mentor, sponsor, and recently as a coach, I realized that many a times in the anxiety of starting a club, there are many finer aspects of documentation that mentors and sponsors overlook. The core duty is not of that of a mentor. Mentor assumes that the sponsor will do, sponsor assumes that the mentor will do. But we need to understand paperwork is the duties as documented for a sponsor. Work closely with the CGD office. If you have any doubts, get it clarified from the members who are a part of this club. And most important, this is something which is a motivation for the club, where we formally present a charter, right? Once you've gone through the entire rigmarole of going through the demo meeting, initial 1 or 2 meetings, or maybe 6, 7, 8 meetings, depending upon how much time it takes for you to get to that minimum strength, and then you finally submit the document. It is a good thing to celebrate that event. And as a sponsor, you should look for planning a charter event and installation of the new club office. Now, the best thing to ask is, how do I go about it? What are the things that I need to do? Many a times we assume that sponsoring means, okay, someone will come and tell me this is what is to be done. Honestly speaking, that is not how it is. Sponsoring means you are taking an effort, you are taking a lead. While in principle, it looks, oh, it's only documentation, just letting people do certain things. But I would say, go back to the original role of a sponsor. Many of us have had the good fortune of having leaders who just tell us, take this up, you are a sponsor. But the originally defined role has a lot more for the sponsor to do. It is very similar to starting from the very beginning, which means you need to think about who is your target audience. You need to plan for an outreach. You need to plan for connecting with them. You need to communicate with them that this is how the club will function. You need to introduce yourself. Some of you may be in sales and you know how tough it is, right? When you're doing a cold call, I just call up Gayatri and say, hey, Gayatri, I'm brilliant. I'm calling from Toastmasters. And she may say, sorry, I don't have time. Very similar thing that we do to all the callers. Hello, sir, I'm calling from XYZ Bank. You have been allotted a personal loan. Would you like to go for it, sir? It's irritating, right? So we need to make that pitch very clear. It needs to be precise. And that is where I bring you to the connect. You first write to the person, let them know that you will be calling. If possible, seek an appointment and then call. Don't do just a random calling, because many a times, most of us are not that sensitive, but some of us are so sensitive that if the person on the other side says, I don't have time, I don't want to know about Toastmasters and banks, probably that person will not want to do the role of a sponsor ever. It is critical for the other person, the other party, to know why you are the right person. So introducing yourself with your credentials is important. You need to talk about what are the finances involved. If you are targeting a corporate, it is a different modus operandi. If it's a community club, it is different. If it's an institution-based club, it is different. When I used to write mails, I used to give them options, even if it's a corporate, that these are some of the options that other corporates are looking at. You let us know and we can work with you in terms of understanding how we can be supportive to build this club. As a sponsor, you need to know your forms. KYC is known for in the banks, but here it is know the forms that you need to submit. Now, these are some of the key forms, the most important being the application to organize. The application to organize contains all the details about the club with regards to the name, etc. Make sure that you're filling it in. As soon as you submit form 1, the club is given a number, a prospective number. It is like saying that I am booking a club, I'll give more details and I'll make payments later. And then is form 2, which contains details about payments. Now, payments is a tricky area, especially for us Indians. And if it's a corporate, there are a lot of challenges involved. We will not get into it, but there is a different section on Toastmasters finances where we can help you understand how you can manage these payments. But let me tell you, despite what the corporates may want, there is always a way to help make sure that there is no TDS, right? For Indians, it's like if I make 100 rupees payment, the corporate will say I need to deduct TDS. So we have a mechanism to avoid that because we are not paying it to some Indian entity. And then is the membership application. Now, membership application is individual. So if you have 20 members, each of these 20 members need to fill these forms. It has a lot of details and most of these are available online. And one thing which I would like to share with all of you is all the data that you submit to Toastmasters is personal and confidential. Toastmasters doesn't share any information. And by virtue of your being a member of Toastmasters, you have the option to decide which parts of your contact information can be made available to people. So they protect the privacy. So don't worry. Initially, yes, you will be sharing some of these details, but these details are details which are critical. Your home address, your phone number, your mobile number, so that all communication related to Toastmasters reach you at the right place at the right time. And then there are other forms like club information and constitution. Now, constitution is an area where many members need to pay attention, especially as a sponsor. If, for example, a corporate decides that they want to open up membership for outsiders, they need to make sure that the constitution reflects it. It says that it's not a closed club, it's an open club. So when you're submitting the form, make sure that you fill in these elements. And when you submit these forms, there is a section which asks you for 2 sponsors and 2 mentors. Now, 2 sponsors, optional, 1 is okay. But if you really have 2 people who have worked for it, give credit to them. Mentors, I would strongly encourage that you identify two mentors so that it can support the club in the longer run. Now, if I were to look at the overall role and map it to the district mission, the role of a sponsor aligns very closely to the role of a sponsor. Sorry, Reena, I'm taking your name, but when we started the session, you asked Gayatri, by when will this end? Right? One of the things that a sponsor starts feeling irritated is, when will this end? When will the club get finally chartered? I can tell you from experience, one of the clubs took 4 years for me to charter. It's a simple 4 years, right? Just imagine, I almost finished my term as a district director when these clubs got chartered. So you can imagine when I started as an area director. Now that is the beauty about being a sponsor. You learn a lot. It's a life lesson. I had 32 calls with the senior most of people in the organization. But the beauty about it was that this club started as a pan-India club. And I was recognized by District 82 then as someone who contributed towards adding a club. Now that is how we all work together. I don't know if Gayatri remembers, but one of the clubs in the future also happened to be starting multiple clubs in India. That was One Emerson, which started a club in Chennai. So I was the spot. They were working with me, but they wanted a club in Chennai as well. Please remember, as a mentor, your role is to find that initial 20 members, work towards making sure that the demo meeting happens. There is a lot of drum rolls about how the program works. You need to sell it to the people there. It is like saying, once you are in it, you cannot go out. It's like walking into an Apple store and you feel that kuch to leke bahar jana hai. I have to take or buy something. The experience itself is so good that you really don't want to leave. But don't get disheartened. There will be times where you may need to stretch. I'm not saying you need to invest 4 years, but I just shared my experience that I learned a lot by that. And today, even today, when the club needs to do renewals, the first call comes to me. saying brilliant, I say, sorry, I'm no longer a part of the leadership team now. You need to contact this team. They say, I know, but since you were the one who started, I just wanted to tell you, we are renewing for 500 members. That gives me satisfaction. Okay. Now 500 across India is like huge for the clubs. And I feel very happy that I was a small part in that journey. There will be so many questions about how this works. Be ready with a document that will be like an FAQ. Great. So we move on to the next. Once the role of a sponsor is done, then comes the role of Aarti. Satish has taken you there and said, GRT, grand it is. Now Aarti will help us understand. Now, yes, it could be a community club as well. Thank you, Namjyoti. Community club, the way in which we work is different. You identify a focus area. As I said, identify your TG, the target group, and then start working on it. Now, mentoring is comparatively easier, where you need to know how you can support and what are the key things that you need to do. So the easiest thing to answer, again, why be a mentor? It is sharing your experience. It is building capacity within the club to translate strategies to action, right? We all hear about the vision, mission, all of these values. We've heard of this. How do you make sure that it translates into action in the form of DCP? Making sure that the club participates in the program. You need to make sure that you as a mentor is able to build and apply team skills to motivate them and help them understand why it is critical to be a mentor. And most important, you always earn credit. So don't worry about the credit. Credit will always come. In the good old days, when we were one single family as District 82, we would just go about running around from one end of the world to the other to start a club. Today, you are all very lucky, touch wood. You're all very lucky because you can just stay in the comfort of your home and do all the support that is required. Now, when it comes to mentoring, now mentoring a Toastmasters club is very similar to mentoring a individual. The only difference is the individual is replaced by the club. So your duties and responsibilities is most important. You need to provide them with the insights, what will work for them as a club. Now just imagine when you start a club, they are new, they don't know, right? They always say, we don't know, how do we work? How much time should we have the meeting for, right? These are some of the questions that mentors are asked. How do I work on the club success plan? Oh, my area director is saying this, is it right? You know, it's not that they don't trust it, but because you are a mentor and you're working with them, they will come to you. You become a sounding board for them. You will provide the club with details to understand how to come up with quality meetings. Please note, the focus is on quality. Anyone can just start off a meeting and say, this is how we need to do. But if you need to build a club that sustains for a long time, quality is important. You need to make sure that there is a continuous stream of membership, which means that one of the roles of a mentor is to work closely with the VPPR and the VP membership. While yes, you work with the president and the VP more focusing on the education programs, but your core responsibility is also to help build and sustain members. So your PR and VP membership becomes critical. You need to understand why it is important to be a part of the DCP, right? Many a times members ask this question and clubs ask, I just want to, complete this program. I have had questions like, okay, I'm just looking at the screen and taking names. Vignesh, Veena, Gayatri, Meena and Reena, they will do level 1 in first month. So they will get all the speaking slots. And I have to tell them this is not how it works. Because the idea of a program is give everyone an opportunity to take up roles that contribute towards learning for you as well as for the others in the group. Imagine if the 4 or 5 of them I took names of are the only people speaking, why would it motivate the others to participate and support, right? We need to send across that message that yes, while your intentions are good, the program will not help. I had a request from one of the clubs where they said, the people are senior leaders in the organization. I said, excellent. They will not have time to take up these roles as president VPE. I can ask their secretaries to plan for it. So I had to tell them, this is not how it works. If the secretaries are doing it, better make those secretaries take up those roles so that they can benefit. Because the idea of taking up any role in a club, any meeting role or an ExCom role, is to help build the leadership skills. Now, when you look at mentoring, the key element of a mentor is to support the clubs, the leaders, and the mentors. A mentor, honestly, I would say, would be like a backbone for successful meetings. Initially, you have a role for supporting for the first 6 months, but that doesn't stop you from continuing to work with them. As a mentor, your responsibility is to keep hammering like the goldsmith, slightly not the blacksmith, like tongue one and it's done. You keep hammering so that you get the shine and tell them that 20 members is what is required, quality meetings is what is required. You need to achieve minimum of distinguished status. What happens is this becomes a culture for the club. It becomes a mechanism where they will understand that just like a corporate, attrition is normal, right? People move out. So you need to get new people in. You need to bring in new blood. Otherwise, we would have been doing the same things, expecting different results. Your responsibility as a mentor is to make sure that whenever possible, you attend the meetings physically. But my recommendation as a role is, first and foremost, try to be a part of the meeting at least once in a month if the club meets twice. Because there are two mentors, one of them can be a part in one meeting and the other mentor can be a part in the second meeting. This will take a load off your shoulder, right? It will not take the load, because if you are the only one mentor assigned, it is like a lot of pressure on you. Everyone will come back to you. Now, as a mentor, please be familiar with the Pathways program. There will be a lot of questions that will come in. You need to ensure that the club is fully functional. You need to ensure that the education program is known to you and you are willing to support them. Worst case scenario, as we discussed, now that Gayatri wants to help us, this is the last thing that anyone, either a sponsor or a mentor, would want. But worst case scenario, we know that things may not go in the manner it should. So a quick question, when do you think a club should have a coach appointed? Any responses?
When the club is sick and the second membership has fallen down below 10.
Okay. Okay. One answer from Abhishek. Any other counterpoints?
And membership is less than 13.
I couldn't hear you. Sorry. Could you be a bit louder? Okay. So Abhishek said when a club is sick. So now sickness has a parameter, right? 101, 102 in terms of fever, in terms of cough, everything has a measure. So for a club to be appointed, to be given a coach, the requirement is the club strength should be less than or equal to 12. And there should be at least one member, right? Otherwise the club is gone. Ideally, the assignment is based on the recommendation of the AD or from the club itself. The club, 1 member, 2 members, 3 members will come back and say, every district has a club support team defined. The aim of a club coach is to make sure that the club comes back from extinction. It will take a lot of effort, much more than what it takes for a mentor or a sponsor, which means you are invested in it. It's like you have paid money for buying something and you are waiting for that returns to come up. It's like planting a seed and wanting it to bloom and give flowers. Now, these are some of the qualifications that are important. Most important is the member should be active. Ideally, a member of a strong club, not a member of the same club. We had a challenge once when we did not know the rules. We appointed someone from the same club and then we got to know, right? Many a times we assume that anyone can be a coach, but the person should not be from the same club. It is recommended that the person has some ExCom experience. The reason is there will be issues, there will be aspects which the person will be faced with. And if you are not aware of that, you will have support, but it is always good to have some experience in it. You should have some experience in membership building as a leader. All of these help you in making sure that your role as a club coach is excellent. And BAU, we've all heard it, right? BAU, business as usual. So I was thinking, how do I make sure that coach can help the club do business as usual? So most important, you need to start with building rapport with the club members and ExCom. That is your first B to make business as usual. A is analyze the club environment, understand what's working, understand what's not. If it's a corporate club, what are the challenges? If it's a community club, what are the challenges? How can you help? In a corporate club, what are the things that you can do? Right? And then comes you, the most important, the past trends. If you're able to understand what happened in the past, your role as a coach becomes easy. Then you have the responsibility to focus on club success plan, moments of truth, and doing a SWOT, which is the strength, weakness, opportunities, threats. And one guideline, please do not interfere. The club may say no, so you say, okay, I respect and I move behind, I step behind. Your investment is up to 2 years. Remember that it's not as easy as a sponsor where you get the credit immediately after the charter, mentor after 6 months. But
Kindly please mute. Yes, continue.
okay, it happens, no problem. And the most important duty is to make sure that the club becomes distinguished. Right now, I just shared this. I'll share this PPT with all of you. You can have a look at it. You need to understand what are the key strengths that you can build on. What are the weaknesses that you can overcome? What are the opportunities that are available for you to assess and work on? Now, this is a beautiful thing that we tend to ignore. We just jump into and start working on it. But please remember, in order to make sure that if you want to get credit as a coach, you need to make sure that you make the club distinguished or above. And this again aligns to the sustain part of the district mission. As a club coach, one of the responsibility is for me to teach the club members how to start operating independently. Initially, I'll be handholding and then I'll move out. It is important that you let them know that it is a future which they are building, which means sustenance has to be the key. Your role will be finished as soon as the club becomes distinguished. It could be within 6 months, it could be within 3 months, it could be within 2 years. As soon as it becomes distinguished, your role as a club coach is over. You can sign off and you can still support, right? One thing which is important, dear friends, is all the 3 roles that we talked about, the sponsor, the mentor, and coach, are critical for us. Gayatri in her address said that if we don't do it effectively, we will not feel happy. But if you do it effectively, you will feel satisfied. I did not aim for all of these credits that are there on the screen. I did not even know that I was a top club sponsor till TI sent me that mail saying that congratulations, you are the top sponsor for the last 3 years. I sponsored and mentored more than 100 clubs across India. All I did was have fun. I made sure that I knew what I was doing and I worked very closely with the club. So today I feel happy when I was able to resuscitate 2 clubs as a club coach. Not a good thing that I would have thought I would get into, but that gives me a sense of pride. And the pride increases when I see that club today as a President's Distinguished Club after 1 year of being a coach. Now, if that is not something that you are aiming for, I think you need to look beyond the credit. I'm sure there are a lot of questions. We will take this question and answer in a while. Thank you so much. I formally end the session. The PPT will be shared. I'll send it to Gayatri and she can share it with all of you. Let's make sure that collectively we work to help build clubs and sustain existing. Thank you so much. And over to the Master of Ceremonies for any questions.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Brilliant. So let's now begin the question and answer session. If you have any questions, you can drop in the chat box. We can address them. We have few questions already here.
Sure. Okay, I'll take it up in the reverse order. Mentor and coach, what is the difference? Okay, Thomas, your question is mentor and coach. Mentor works with a club that is active in the initial period for a maximum of 6 months. A coach is appointed when the club membership falls below 12 and it has at least one member, and the period is for about 2 years where you need to work closely with them. Okay, Cyril, your question is, if a club revives in 1 year, I think I have answered that already. The club revives, immediately your role as a coach is over. It could be 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. Lava Kumar, you have asked a question, can one individual act as a sponsor and a mentor? Absolutely, they can. It depends whether you are able to invest that much of a time. Yes. Okay, there is one more which has come to me on personal chat. Due diligence by the sponsor. Excellent question. Yes, we need to think about due diligence. When I spoke about, it was there in the presentation when I said, when you get into understanding what needs to be done by the sponsor, you need to understand what kind of organization it is. I just spoke about the corporate, but there are different types, right? Community, there are institution, there is probably a college-based club. Every club will have a different set of challenge. As a sponsor, you need to work closely with the management of that particular organization to understand, and probably, and this is something which I do, and probably you can also start thinking, is talk to them long term, saying that, can we have a guarantee for about 3 to 5 years support from you? Now, this is a good way to help your future, right? While we may not know whether they will somewhere help or not, but important is get a buy-in. If you have an in principle buy-in, you can keep sending them mails reminding them that you are someone who said that you will support, and each time there is a club success that happens, let them know. If there is a challenge, let them know. Keep them involved. Okay, how do I come to know there is a need for a coach or a mentor role? Mentor by default is assigned when the club is chartered, Krishnan. In terms of a coach, when the club strength falls below 12, the club can ask for it, or the district can, through the AD, check with the club if they want to have a coach assigned. What should a mentor do when the club is not yet chartered? During that period, I would say you work on the building of connection with the team members. You start supporting the sponsor so that when you get into the role of a mentor, it becomes easy. Reena, if the club took 4 years to charter, you would have landed up paying charter fees at least 3 times. Practically speaking, we added 5 clubs. So they paid the charter fee for 5 different clubs. In 4 years, what I meant is the initial discussion that I had with, let's say Monisha was the person that connected with me. She was my classmate and I was always talking about Toastmasters, and she just asked me, what is this Toastmasters? Oh, wow, this is interesting. Let me take it to my organization. And she works for an organization which has a global presence. And one of the clubs in US has a club. So she understands the importance and she starts connecting with me. And we work on it for 4 years. So we don't pay charter fees. Charter fees is paid only once for one club. I want to take on a role as a club mentor. Whom do I contact at the district level? So this is an answer that can be given by the CGD team. So CGD team, would you like to take that?
Yeah, brilliant. So I think that's a question running in everybody's mind. So by being part of this training, all of you will be part of the pool of club coach, club mentor, and club sponsor for this year. We'll be creating a WhatsApp group so that we'll all be working together. And as and when we have a need, we do have a need for assigning a lot of club coaches in the beginning of the year. So we'll start it right away from next week. So we will let you know of the opportunities. Once you are ready to do the commitment and you're interested, we'll be assigning you. So we will all be in touch through the WhatsApp group going forward. And as and when the need comes, you will be given the opportunity. That's the plan for this year.
Thank you. So Trinada has asked a question, how is YLP mentoring different from club mentoring? So YLP is a different program in itself, which has a different outcome expected from YLP, right? So we cannot really mix those two. A club mentoring is more from saying, I am building something and I need to make sure that the club is able to sustain. If you remember, what we talk about Toastmasters is a self-paced, self-driven program, which means the club should be in a position to run on its own. After the initial 6 months of support by the mentors, the club should run in autopilot mode where there should be no support that is required. When you start a new club, unless it's a club formed by a split, you need support in the form of understanding how do I take up roles, how do I do evaluations, how do I conduct contests, how do I make sure that my leaders are trained. There are so many aspects that needs to be taken care of. That is where the mentor's role will come in, providing the support, making sure the programs are run. Whereas a YLP is a one-time program which runs for a period of 6 to 8 weeks, depending upon how much you have planned in the program itself. It is executed and outcomes are very different. Okay, one question. Does it mean that once the club is chartered, sponsor doesn't have any role in the club? Technically, no. Technically, no, but the sponsor could be a part of the club itself, right? For example, let's say Gayatri, me, Reena, and Monisha are a part of a club. We may be a sponsor, we may be a mentor for that club. It is possible. We may have a role. I could take up the role of VP membership. She could take a role of president. That is possible. It is not a mutually exclusive role. It is an inclusive role. You can take as many roles as possible. But only thing I would say is, please check if you're willing to invest the time and efforts required. If you are, take up the role of a sponsor, take up the role of a mentor, take up the role of a president if you want to, but make sure that you're doing justice to all three. All the questions have been answered. Yeah, one statement Sampath has made is, if the sponsor is good, mentor will have an easy job and coach will have no job. Okay, so here is a slight modification that I would like to make to this statement. The sponsor knows only the situation as of the day when the club was formed. So it is more on the mentor side to make sure that this continues. Yes, the sponsor can lay the grounds for the future. As I said, when I talk to clubs, especially corporates, I ask for a commitment of 3 to 5 years. That is just the first step. But a mentor is someone who can make sure that it happens. So, making it exclusive or inclusive again is a tough job. But as a good mentor, I always say, when you start a club, when you charter a club, it becomes a baby. I still remember when my first child was born. Officially, December was the date, but my first baby as an area director was born in August. So I had 2 babies to manage, my own and the Toastmasters baby. And then as you keep becoming a sponsor or a mentor, you want to make sure that the child not only stands up, walks, but starts running and says, Tata Papa, I don't need your support anymore. I will support you when you need it. So that's the kind of experience that we want to give the clubs. Can a mentor be from more than 2 from outside the club if there are guidelines? See, okay, I don't know. This name says Kat Hosur. I can't see the full name. So can a mentor be more than 2 from outside the club? Officially, no. Official credit will be given to only 2 members from Toastmasters fraternity, and they can be a part of the club, or they can be anyone from outside, anyone from any district. As long as they are an active member, they can be a contributor to the role of a mentor. Okay, Rajgopal. Okay. Srinivasan, your statement is very interesting. I'll definitely think about whether this could be the right metaphor that we can use, but I'd still prefer to look at Satish, Aarti, and Gayatri as the metaphor rather than the go wrong on any medical terms. but an interesting prospect. I'll keep this as a note, and if I use this, Srinivasan, I'll give you full credit. I don't give cash. I only accept cash.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Welcome.
Thank you.
So I think we answered all the questions. Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Brilliant, for a very detailed and insightful session. So I'm sure we must have got many takeaways from it. So a feedback link will be shared in the chat box. I request all of you to share your feedback about the session. Okay. So in an in-person meeting, we would have an opportunity for a break, for a coffee, and speak among our peers. So why should we miss the fun, miss out that fun? So in here we can have a breakout room and speak about the insights. So you will be randomly assigned to the breakout room. There will be 7 to 10 members in each room, and you are requested to speak about a minute each on how you felt about the session and what you learned. Any questions on your mind, etc. You can speak about it. So you have a 10 minutes. So utilize it well with your peers. So once you're back, our retention share will help you understand the roadmap to follow from that onwards. So let's open the breakout room. So you'll have a pop-up, you can join.
So we started it last year. We found it to be very successful. It took about 7-8 months for it to kind of get going. But now that it's kind of running almost very seamlessly, and this year we enhanced the team and brought in more people.
Nina, I'm sure it will be a rocking success. I remember.
It's like you were saying, you have to invest time in this mentoring process. You can't expect masala dosa instantly and Grand Hotel. You've gone for a buffet. So be prepared for the long haul.
Welcome back, everyone. So I hope everyone had a wonderful time and interesting conversation in the breakout session. So our attendance link will be sent in the chat, and you can fill up all the details. So based on that, it will be assigned on the mentor pool. We have now arrived on our next stop in our journey. So coming up next, we have an education session by Toastmaster Kalyan. Toastmaster Kalyan is the CXO and founder of Ascendon Clown, ERP for food and beverage with offices in India and Qatar. He also the director of sales and marketing, the International School of Thrissur and KB Edu Ventures LLP. And he's been a Toastmaster since 2015 and a division conference chair for Ignite in 2016, district conference program chair for Revision in 2017, program mentor for district conference Ovation 2019, and event chair for international leaders and Division Director. He has been mentored 3 clubs, sponsored 2 clubs, and coached 1 club. The spotlight on you, Toastmaster Kalyan. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Monisha. Good morning, D120. Allow me to share my screen. Right, here we go. Thank you very much, Brilliant, making my job very easy. You clearly, calm and composed way told how to sponsor a club, how to mentor, coach, everything. Here I am slightly going to break down into pieces. What I'm saying mean by break it down into pieces. I thought I'll just discuss a complete roadmap of how to go about it. Now, okay, you identified a place, you are sponsored when work is done, your mentoring is done, or you're appointed as a club coach. How to go about it? That's what I'm going to discuss in my session today. Let me clarify the definitions. Just a brainstormer of whatever Brilliant did. Definitions. Before getting into the Toastmaster definitions, for the simplicity of this particular session, I am just taking in few definitions from our real life, which means a teacher, mentor, coach, and a guide. We all know this. A teacher is a one who normally teaches a specific skill. I'm not giving any fixed definition. The definition which I understood, which I can relate to a club mentor or a club coach, I'm just saying that. So a teacher teaches you a skill or a subject. A mentor is the one who have got some knowledge about that particular subject, and he or she teaches, handholds that particular person, a mentee, into that. A coach usually trains you on a skill, and then the coach will also have a definite goal attained to a particular option. A guide, to me personally, is all of the above. The guide also counsels the member. So this is a general definition. With related to Toastmasters, these are all the words we normally hear. Okay, these words would have been new to you all these days. Now, Rin has clearly told you what is what. So these things are no more jargons. We have a club sponsor. The words we use in Toastmaster are club sponsor, club mentor, club coach. This mentor alone will come in 2-3 places. Mentor, mentee inside a club, pathways mentor, and then club sponsor. So these are all the jargons we normally use in a Toastmaster. This session, I'll be touching only on club sponsor, club mentor, and club coach. As such, Bryn has clearly given what is what in club sponsor. I will not going to touch on club sponsor. I'll run this on club mentor and club coach. If you had seen, I'll just put something in a different color, mentor, mentee, and pathways mentor. Mentor, mentee, I want to mention about, Satish Menon has just mentioned. Mentor, mentee, I want to mention very specifically about the district has got a beautiful initiative called Mentor Pool Committee. This Mentor Pool Committee is headed by distinguished Toastmaster Nina John. Anything, any help, any mentor, mentee relation, as this team is beautifully governing, any help for that club mentor, you'll be getting into this particular session. Any help with an individual mentor, we will approach the mentor pool. Pathways mentor, you all know it is going to be a different program altogether in Pathways. Now, I want you to answer. I told you in my previous slide, a teacher, mentor, coach, guide. Club mentor and club coach, who are they? Is they a teacher, as a coach, or a guide, or a mentor? Anybody?
I believe they have to play all the roles.
Awesome. Precisely. A club mentor and a club coach, they are going to do all the roles. They're going to be a teacher at particular point of time. They're going to be a mentor at particular point of time. They're going to be a coach, and they're going to be a guide. Above everything, they're going to be a friend. If you are going to play all these roles and not going to be a friend, you lost it all. Now, this particular question comes to all of us in whatever we do, right? What's in it for me? Okay, I do all these things. What's in it for me? This, again, we know now what is it. A club mentor and club coach purely qualifies you to be a DTM. In addition to that, what are all the things we are going to get by playing a club mentor, club coach, club sponsor? Can People come in. What are all the add-ons? See, we remember Gayatri mentioning, okay, I got the courage to start a business. Now I'm going to start a business. Brilliant said it will make you a very different person, individual. What more do you think you guys can get from this? I'll give you a hint. Now, the 5 competencies of pathways. What are the 5 competencies of pathways?
Confidence, public speaking.
Okay.
Interpersonal communication.
Leadership.
Okay. And then?
Strategy.
Fifth one?
Strategy.
No, 5th one. Is there anybody who can just tell me what is the 5th one?
Networking with people.
No. 5 competencies. See, in pathways, we have 11 paths and it purely concentrates on 5 competencies. What is the 5th
Motivating.
one? Sorry?
Motivating and sharing.
Okay, thank you. Okay, no, it's not. It says confidence.
Confidence.
In Toastmasters, beautifully, they say, see, all the other 4 things, there are direct modules to improve those skills. Whereas there is no direct module to improve that particular confidence. That comes as a byproduct, but that is one of the core competency in a pathways. In the same way, you do any role in Toastmasters. To me personally, you do any role in Toastmasters that gives you a few skills. In any of my training, I always say, any role in Toastmaster you take, you can do a life hack. What I mean by that is, you want to do something, you want to build a habit, you want to do one particular skill or improve one of your skill, you want to learn a personal music or you want to learn anything. Probably what happens is habit formation is not happening. I don't have discipline. I cannot afford the time. I can't put the time. I procrastinate. All these things automatically get knocked off. You sign up for any role in Toastmasters. I'll always, reason being, any role you take, it conditions you to keep doing it. Let it be a VP, a secretary, or a club coach, or a club mentor, president. A conditioning is formed inside your brain. So what happens? You just get this conditioning formed inside your brain, and then we just put it into our professional and personal life. See, we have all come here to Toastmasters to improve our professional and personal life. So any role you take, this is a very personal opinion of mine, any role you take, it gives you a very professional, it helps you in a professional and career. And another thing I'll always say, doing any role, your mind becomes strong. What I mean by that is, it's always said that there are 5 qualities of a super brain or a super mind. It is something like receptivity, creativity, magnanimity, adaptability, and perspicacity. To me, this word perspicacity, I'm a very fan of that particular word, perspicacity, because you have that particular word in your life, everything goes on. Can anybody tell me the meaning of perspicacity, perspicacious? A Tamil favorites here, and it's in Tamil, it is called Nunman Nuraipulam. In Tirukural, there are 10 verses for it. What is perspicacity?
It's kind of maturity.
Okay, okay, right. See, it's a very big definition. The definition of perspicacity goes this way. It's my definition. It is taking a right and a correct decision, taking a right and a correct decision, thinking about the past experiences, considering the current circumstances, and having in mind the future results. This is, in a simple word, it is an insight. Okay, so if you take a role, your perspicacious capacity improves in a very, very, very different way. Especially when you work towards a club coach and a club mentor, when you step down from that particular thing, when you sign off from that particular role, you get on as an individual, you become a very, very, very different person. Of course, it qualifies you for a DTM. What is the duration of these roles? Brilliant, I already told, but can we just come out with that? What is the duration of this role? Both mentor and
6 months,
mentor,
2 years. Coach 2 years, mentor 6 months.
And then anybody else?
Until a club becomes distinguished.
Okay, any other answers?
Mentoring
Duration.
is minimum of 6 months. Mentoring is minimum of 6 months.
6 months is mentoring. Okay, coach, what is the duration?
Maximum 2 years.
Maximum 2 years. Okay, right. Technically,
Club mentoring, I think it's
yes,
club
Swati?
mentoring, I think it's 25 or 26 weeks. If a club is meeting only once in a month, then it should be 25 weeks, not 6 months.
Got it. Technically, all these answers are right. I have a very, very different definition for this duration. Let's say you become a mentor, the club gets started. As we all know now, mentors are for new clubs, coaches are for clubs which need support. You become a mentor. Then this particular mentorship, you get mentor credit in 6 months. You can always email to the Toastmaster International and get your credit. And after 6 months, you step down. To me personally, that particular Toastmaster year is over. Then in the next renewal, which means assuming I get signed, Swati, you are assigned as a mentor to one particular club this Toastmaster year. And in the next renewal cycle, that is September 2022, if that club is running beautifully and then without pushing, without doing anything, if members are joining, only then your term ends. This is a very personal opinion. You should see that, okay, I have joined a DTM credit. Okay, what happens to that particular club? No, the club is no more. You worked as a mentor, you worked as a coach, whereas the club is not there after 2 years, then it is not a healthy way of building a community. So I would personally request each one of you here, be a mentor, be a sponsor. Yes, you got your credit. Yes, you got all your life skills. Yes, you are the club is self-sustaining, but keep in touch with the club. Keep in touch with the club without disturbing the what is what. So I'll always say a mentor is always a coach. Anybody, any of these external role players will work in a coach in a regular way. If they take football, what a coach will do, the coach will stand outside and then he is not a referee. He'll stand outside and I'll just train outside the field. So be in touch with the club after you getting your credit also. To me, your duration, my definition is the duration stops in the next renewal cycle. If the next renewal cycle is proper, then it is done. In the very recent Region 13 director, when his term was over, he put in a Facebook post. It went this way: you are a successful leader when your team wants to have coffee with you after a term. That is how in everything in life is. Now, knowing, Bryn has clearly said what is what, I thought I'll just break it down to what you will do. Now, club mentor, what you will do. So now you are assigned as a club mentor. What you will do. You have stepped in, you have walked into a club. Now, what you will do, you understand what is the meeting format. Explain to the members what is the meeting, understand what is the meeting format is, how they are doing, what they are happening, what exactly they are doing. You will train them completely on the meeting format. You will train them completely on the meeting roles. See, don't think that, okay, do they know this? Because a club mentor, it is a new club. So you are going to tell them anything and everything. As we saw in the very beginning, you are going to be a teacher there, you are going to be a mentor there, you are going to be a coach there, you are going to be a guide there. Explain to them what is meeting roles, because we have a lot of jargons. For an example, a new corporate club or a community club, and then the jargons which we have are very large. TMOD, accounter, all these things they are not aware. Absolutely the structure. See, the beauty of Toastmasters is throughout the world, you walk into any club, the structure is the same. Explain the structure, give lot of time to them, explain to them what is what. It's something very basics. Unless and until the foundation is strong, the building is not going to be proper. Then explain to them on XCOM roles. Why I'm just putting into points is you are going to do everything when a club is started, after the meeting is started. Then with members, what you will do with members, as we mentioned, you are going to work with the members towards their speech and then towards their educational goals. Now, when you're going to work with members, assigning to the mentors, get in touch with the mentor pool committee of the district, assign mentors for all the club members. Now, you will also be tracking CSP, you know, you are in charge of DCP and then district awards. We will just break down this into month and then week in the coming slides, but don't push for CSP, DCP and district awards. I will always say in the very beginning, don't start speaking about CSP, don't start speaking about DCP, because they will fear, okay, what is this? Look, then they will immediately think, okay, you have some hidden agenda and then you are coming there. Equip them with the tools. The first 5 things: meeting format, meeting role, XCOM role, member, mentor enrollment. Take care of these things, then automatically other things will fall in place. Now I saw a question from Thomas here. What is the core difference between a member and mentor also? Exactly, the club coach will also do the same. What the club coach will do in addition to this, the club coach will also do little more work towards bringing a new membership. A club mentor, meeting format, meeting roles, rather I'll put it this way, a club mentor structures the club, brings the meeting to order, exactly tells people what is what. And he will also be speaking with CSP and he will also be speaking about membership, but not as a core thing. With the club coach, you'll also be working little more with members. Okay, how to bring in members, what we can do with members, we'll just visit. So this is what you'll be doing and as a club mentor and as a club coach. Now, with the club, now let's break it down this to, okay, you're a club mentor, you're a club coach. Now you know what to do as a club mentor and as a club coach. Now with where your target audience is, where your work is. With the club, as I mentioned before, structure the meeting very properly. See, you don't ever think, okay, 3-4 meetings. No, after 3-4 meetings, they will fall in place. No, bring the discipline on the thing, because what is going to happen, you get to see, because what I mean by an example, for an example, top management will come. Suddenly between the meeting, they will make him speak. See, you can just always tell your expectations, tell the whole format to the XCOM, tell the whole format to TMOD. You also go at 15 minutes, 30 minutes before, or if it is going to be a Zoom meeting, join 15 minutes before, check whether any management is going to come in, anybody we are going to give in a speech slot or anything, then bring them at the end after the business session or in the business, before the concluding the meeting. So don't disturb the structure of the meeting. Whatever it is, whoever it is. Then work with CSP. We all know what is CSP, the club success plan. These and all work with the XCOM. Again and again, I'll repeat, don't do few things in the very first 3 months, at least for the first 2 months. We will just understand what we are going to do for the first 2 months. Speak about CSP, district awards, DCP, everything after 2 months at least. Then with membership, of course, you'll be working. Most important of a club mentor and a club coach is create leaders. What I mean by create leaders is bring them out of the club. See, let's say we have some 80 plus TLA events, and then 40 plus area contest, division contest. So many other leadership opportunities will evolve. Bring the member outside the club, bring them out of the club. Reason being, the moment they come out of the club, they interact with other people, only then they are going to feel belonging. Unless, okay, why I'm here at Toastmaster here? Why this many people have joined in on a Sunday morning? Reason being, we all feel we belong to this particular fraternity. You as a member, you as a coach, you as a mentor, you as a coach, bring that belongingness into an individual member. See, the moment I belong somewhere, the moment I understand, the moment I learn something from somewhere, definitely I'm going to stay there for long. There is no, we need not have to work about retention or expansion. Reason being, I am happy. So I'm happy here. I'm automatically going to bring in more members. See, for an example, in a corporate environment, if they see Toastmasters alone are doing a very different thing, automatically people, it's going to raise eyebrows. People ask how he is performing better, how his presentations are becoming better. Automatically others are going to come in. So create leaders. You as a mentor and you as a club coach, you are going to create leaders. And remember this, most of the mentors and coaches, we miss out on this. There is going to be an XCOM election also coming in. So have the succession plan also bring in. Don't again have these things in a very systematic way. On the very day one, when you speak about the club, don't speak about XCOM election, because a mentor would have, the members would have just got elected, and then you speak about election, then the interest may come down. This is what you'll do for the club. With the members, it's very pure. You will work with every member for their speech improvement. Work with every member for their speech improvement. What I mean by this, of course, you will coordinate with the mentor pool committee, get mentors, assign them, then do. That is what mental ornament. And of course, educational goal, you'll be working with them. Whom you'll be working with this? See, anything I say, you will not be directly working. You will not directly go and speak. All these things you will get rooted through your XCOM. I repeat what I said before. You are a club coach or a mentor, means you will stand outside. You will not get into the field and then play. What you will do, you are not a referee to blow a whistle when something is going wrong. You are a coach, you will stand out, you will speak to them in a green room, tell them what to do, that is what, then see them play, then they come out, correct it. You being a mentor, you are a coach, some meeting is happening. In between, don't go go there and do a course correction, because something will happen. Suddenly, no, don't read this. Don't kill the flow of the meeting. The beauty of a meeting is no role player gets into the other role player shoes. If that happens, automatically everything is taken care in a very beautiful way. Bring a very beautiful club. The moment when you go there, 5th meeting or 10th meeting, when somebody walks in, the way in which meeting is taken care is what becomes a strength, your strength, and that is what becomes the strength of the club. That's what becomes the strength of a division, area, district. Now, I told what is what. We will just get on to a roadmap week-wise. What we will do, as Viren especially mentioned, we will speak to the meeting. You will exactly understand the meeting time. You will do a complete SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis mostly we will be doing only for, we may have to do only for a club coach. For a new club also, new club as SWOT analysis, you can check whether what is their working hours, whether the working hours, and then because most of the people work in UK time, US time, and all the other things. So check all these terms, understand whether everything is in place. Speak to the ExCom, explain to them what works, start appointing mentors. The very first day you step into the club, before that, have a word with the district mentor pool and then work on it. Week 2, start education sessions. Start prepared speeches. See, prepared speeches in a week 2, it's easier. It's going to be icebreaker. We can just bring in people. But in week 2, mentor assignment is in progress. You see to it, the mentor assignment goes very proper in week 2. Week 3, now you're done. We have started with 2 prepared speeches. From week 3, maximum week 4 onwards, mandatory speech, 2 prepared speeches will come in. Then week 3, again, maximum week 4, complete the mentor assignment. If I don't have a mentor, I don't know where to go. So I'll complete the mentor assignment. In the same way, education sessions will start running it. I would say week 7 or 8, probably. It depends on case to case. I'm not saying, okay, first 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's fixed. We cannot negotiate on that. 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, based on the club, based on the members. It may even be week 12, 3 prepared speeches. And speaking to them about contests, speaking to them about DCP, speaking to them about CSP and all, may come a little later, but don't exceed week 8, because what happens the moment it goes to week 12 and 14, you're sort of not going to be on track. Believe me, it's not a race. Don't rush it. That's why very specifically Toastmasters clearly said your coach is going to be for 2 years, and then your mentorship is going to be 6 months. Technically, I would say a mentor can assess, and you can always ask the club. That's what I did when I went as a mentor. I asked my 6 months, my term is over. What do I do? The club said we can manage this, that. My then division director told, no, Kalyan, just go for 3 more months. And then we went 3 more months. But the proof of your workers have 100% attendance. See, we all know the club is going to have 2 mentors. The club is going to have 2 sponsors. Now, you guys can alternate for a week. Okay, 1 week, the one mentor will go. The next week, the next mentor will go. In the same way, 1 week, the one coach will go. The next week, the other coach will go. Just in case you have your own personal and professional commitments, you cannot go, assign somebody. We have always asked so many people, see, hey, look, I'm a club mentor here. I'm a club coach here. Can you go? And then instead of on my behalf, go. Because that gives them a very different confidence. That gives them a very different focused value, because they see the discipline in you. How you cannot say, by not going to, for an example, you go to the ExCom and tell your ExCom, no, look, your ExCom term, you should be very clear, you should have 100% attendance. Then you go once in a while to the club. The ExCom is going to ask, man, he's a mentor, he comes once in a while to the club. Why should I go? Walk the talk. Only then it works. This is going to be your week. I'll just put it for a year. If you see, I've just always put to 1 to 12 plus. The 12 plus is the next renewal. But what is the 12 plus? Once your term is over, once you have got your DTM, you got your credit, you have taken everything. But see in the next renewal, in the next renewal, your membership strength is the same, the club is the same, the club is still healthy. Then you have done your job well. Otherwise, your DTM pin will be heavy on with you. So let's be 1, 2, 3. We have mentioned what is what. First 3 months. This is a monthly map. Speak to them, clearly identify the roles, tell them what you're going to do, put the meeting to order, complete the mentor sessions, mentor allotments, and then start your education sessions. Month 4, 5, and 6. Start with meetings, start all the sessions, work on club success plan. This 4, 5, and 6 will be for the club which has got a coach. With club which needs a mentor, in the second month itself, you can start, in the sense what, if you're a mentor in a club, second month itself, you can start with CSP. CSP alone, slightly be very cautious when to launch. And of course, membership, leaders and XCOM training will start in 4th and 5th month itself. Start a membership drive. Then 7 to 12, this is what will happen. You will work between membership, you'll work with members, membership, everything and everything membership, not only building new members. See, it is always, we all feel work of a VPM is to bring in new members. I will say no, the work of a VPM is to retain existing members. When you retain existing members, automatically new members are going to come in. So that's what we throughout this district, throughout this year in district, we are saying, bring in sustainable clubs. That's what we mean. What Satish keeps on saying, sustainable clubs, what he means, retain the existing members, make them happy, give them value, automatically the district becomes wherever it wants to go. So this is the roadmap for you for a year. Then you may be having certain doubts. What are all the education sessions we need to give it to the club? I'll always say, split it into two. One is for the club and another is for the members. One is for the club, put them on their roles and responsibilities, how a club functions, everything. Tell them they belong to a bigger fraternity. See, I told you, we all want to belong somewhere. Why you are all in Facebook? Why you are all on Instagram? You like that attention which you get there. I'm not saying this is not becoming an attention-seeking fraternity. Bring that belongingness. They should be proud. See, when I wear this pin, I'm proud. When I have this particular pin with me, it gives me an outstanding Toastmaster. When I completed my mentorship, my then division director gave me in a division conference. I value this pin a lot. When I did my president training, after my presidentship term, one of my senior member from my club, he gave me a tie. He said, I give successful presidents, I give a tie. Here, I have a tie. Most of my installations, any installations I do, any sessions I do, I still wear the tie and then go. Why? This is a belongingness which this fraternity has given me. Bring that belongingness, automatically things will thrive. So meeting, so this is with respect to the club. With a club, you bring that belongingness. So bring in education sessions for these stuff. Then there is no shortcut. Your education sessions you must complete this in the first 4 to 6 weeks. How to organize a speech, how to get content, how to evaluate body language and voice modulation. If you are going to teach them and train them on these sessions, automatically, see, look, you have covered education sessions in 4 weeks. You know, you have clearly told what is the roles and responsibilities club, what is the roles and responsibilities, and every individual role plays in a meeting. You have clearly said what is an XCOM roles and responsibilities. The club has got knowledge. Okay, now, they know the leadership skills. What are we going to do with speech? Now you will bring in speakers, how to organize a speech, there will be a speaker, and then there is a content. We have beautiful education speakers in this fraternity. Take help. What I did in Toastmasters is I shamelessly asked people what I asked. For an example, when I became a division director, I called all the seniors, Neena ma'am, Sampath sir, Thomas sir. I asked them, we need some education sessions. How many sessions he can give? People told me, Kalan, I can give you this year, I can give you 12 sessions, 14 sessions. One person said, every week also I can come in and then help you the club. This is what happened when you sign up and then you ask for help. Ask for help. Go outside of your comfort zone. Go ask people, bring them on board. It's a teamwork. A club mentor, club coach is not okay. I am a club mentor, I am a club coach, I'll do everything. Absolutely no. You need external help. Take help shamelessly. Ask people. They're all happy to help. This is the only place in the world, to me personally, where you grow when you train. Because when I worked as a mentor is what a lot of things got clarified, not on the leadership role, on my speech building. Because you work on a mentor, you'll understand what is happening. You get to hear every week on week, you get to hear speeches. You know, okay, this is going wrong. What's going to happen that way? And another tip here, what I'll always say, you want to give an input at the end of a meeting, always have the initial days, have a 5-minute slot for you. Give references, give us a feedback. We all know we do that in a sandwich technique. Don't go and tell the club you did this mistake because they are new. In the same way, club coach is already suffering. That's why you have gone as a coach. This itself you don't know. I said, no, that's why they have called you. So don't go and tell that actually. So this is the sessions you are going to work. You have your 5-minute session at the end of every meeting. Let that be a very positive feedback. And then you track that progress. Make a note of what are all the things they are missing. The next thing, go 15 minutes before, tell your TMOD or tell the XCOM what to do. Now, most important question everybody has got, how to add more members. Easy. 3, at least, okay, Toastmaster says at least you should have 1 member, and then there should be 12 to have a coach. Ask every member to bring at least 1 member as a guest. They can work with their team, they can work with their trainees, interns. If a club where I went as a coach, what happened is they are struggling a lot. Then I came to understand every month, some 80 interns come in. So we started bringing them interns into the club. What happens the moment we brought interns, what happens? I come to a club, I see only 3 people. I get bored, especially in today's Zoom. Okay, people don't even come on a video. So I see only names there, and then certain people don't even have names, they have initials. I'll get bored, and then I'll just quit the club. So bring in interns, bring in more people. Now, there is one more thing. You as a coach, what you can do is you can just try to work on an open house and a corporate. See, 2-3 things. One is going to be, there is a pure different teams in CGD team, and there is a different team with PQD, and then you take help. For an example, you're going to go and speak to your in a corporate or a HR or a senior managers where you're working as a coach. Now, what happens in a club? There is a club extension committee. There they have people you can just take. Okay, I don't have role players. What do I do? Of course, in CGD team or in PQD team, we have a lot of people. Teams are there, and we have a demo team. In that particular demo team, these people, there will be a lot of role player pool will be there. Ask the demo team head what to do, where to go about, get role players from there. In the same way, you want to go meet your senior HR people or somebody whom to take. Speak to your AD. I'll always say, remember, you are a club coach, club mentor, you're a referee, and then you're not a referee. Speak to your AD. Anything, don't bypass your AD. Don't bypass your division director. You say, I'm okay. I just say, okay, I've been a division director. I've been a area director. Okay, I'm a club coach. Can I be on my own? Absolutely, I cannot be on my own. Keep them on loop. I'm not asking you to take permission there. Keep them on loop on whatever you're doing. So otherwise, you will speak something, other people will something. See, there are a lot of groups available in a district. A mentor committee, demo pool. For an example, how to work with these coaches. What do I do? How to have a mentor? I'm a new club member. What do I do? Arun Kota is there. He is a new club mentor chair, and then he is a new club coach chair, club coach chair. Speak to him. Understand what is what. Okay, I have challenges about retention. I have challenges about extension. There is a committee for everything in this particular district. Identify who they are. Oh, Kalyan, I don't know who they are. Speak to your area director, speak to your president, understand where the team is, ask questions, automatically you'll get help. Bring the relevant person. I'm not saying you cannot go and meet an HR. Why leave an opportunity by not taking help? Then bring an education session of interest. What I mean by education session of interest doesn't mean, okay, you're a chemical company, bring in a chemical engineer and then speak something about a chemistry. No, not that. For an example, let's say a teacher fraternity. Bring somebody, an industry expert, or somebody from the Toastmaster. For him, a Toastmaster has helped him to grow in his career. Then bring his education session of interest based on the core audience or the target group whom we are working with. And then, of course, there will be internal forums. Where I mentored one particular club. There are a lot of women's forums was there, sports club was there. We went and then called people from there, and then we worked with them. So take help. I'll say, understand your job, take help, deliver. Automatically, things will fall in place. With this thought, I'll just move you to questions.
Okay, let's move on to the question and answer session. If you have any questions, you can type it in the chat box. We can address.
For much more easier thing, if Monisha can just read the questions because I have not opened the chat. If you can read the questions, I can just go on better.
Okay. The first question is how to increase attendance. Everyone is saying busy work schedule. In that case, we cannot force them run on this.
Got it. Anything in life which cannot be forced, whatever is getting forced, it's not going to help. Personally, it's a very personal opinion. If I find value, for an example, if you remember what Gayatri said in the beginning, she knows she's compromising on her quality time with her family. She knows it's a Sunday afternoon, but she went on to that chart of that new club. And coming out, she get pumped up with energy. When you see value, you will definitely come. Bring that value in it. Okay, when there used to be a time, my office used to be, I used to work for 18 hours to 20 hours at that particular time. I will never miss a medley meeting. The reason being, I'll go there. I know 2 hours, it will refresh me, make me a different person, and then I'll come out. Bring value to club meetings. Kalyan, how will I bring value? There are only 3 people. That is what I said. There are a mentor pool committee. There is a demo meeting committee, bring those people, take help. There are so many people who are looking for speech slots. Speak to your area director, speak to your division director, then work on them. Clearly go ask them, bring in new people. For an example, I want a speech slot this week. I don't get a speech slot. Then what I will do, you will just get into the committee and then you will be working with that particular committee head. Bring in role players from the thing. With 3 people, what do I do? No, take help, make the meeting interesting. That's the only formula. If I see value, I will not leave this place. Next question, Monisha.
Yeah, next question is, as a club coach for a corporate club, how can we help to get more members for them?
Now, I've mentioned this. One, ask, first of all, make whomever, whatever member, 3 people, 10 people, 50, 12 people, whatever membership, give them value first. Assign a mentor to them first. Let them see, yes, being a Toastmaster, I get value. Don't immediately, okay, I'm a club coach. It's already September. It's already October. I want my credit. I want my DTM. My time is running out. I want to go outside the country. No, it doesn't work that way. Give them value. These 4 people or 5 people, assign a mentor. Give them value. Make them give speeches. Then ask these people, can you bring guests? Can you do this in your company? Ask your team member. So if suppose one member can bring one guest alone to every meeting, slowly we can build. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. That's what, see, Toastmaster, anything in Toastmaster they do, they have done it beautifully well. A 100-year organization, I mean, they have not worked across these situations. They see a club coach, a period is, they say 2 years, mentor is what, 6 months, 1 year. So ask for members, go, that's on the previous slide I covered. Ask your members to bring in 1 guest at least. You try to work towards bringing 4 guests a week. Let it be corporate or a communicate, helps. Go and meet the senior managers. Tell them, can you just give me your team members? Ask them which time they are on. We are also planning something as an open house. So speak to a CGD team. There is an open house is being planned, and then ask for open houses for all the members. You just take a speaker from Toastmaster. We will just go and then do an open house. Take help. Speak to the respective stakeholders, bring them on board automatically. You will increase the membership. It is not going to happen overnight. You need to work for it continuously. Yes, Monisha.
The next question is, do you think giving recognition to the members to bring guests should be encouraged? Has Toastmaster promised its member responsibility to bring guests? So what is your recommendation?
No, doing what? Doing recognition, is it?
Yeah.
What exactly mean by recognition? See, what happens is if you have done your MOT, I'm not getting the exact what exactly means recognition. If you have done an MOT, there is one particular person will come. Does this club have you have a sponsor member? See, recognition, anything which is material, I would say a strict no. I would say it's a strict shame. Is what I would say. A very personal opinion here. Anything which comes in a material, see, in Toastmaster, you get a lot of intangible results. I told you, you get planning, I know hierarchy, you get the public speaking, you have a lot of things. Bring them value, give them value, bring them out of thing. Recognition is, of course, you recognize them. For an example, I bring in 5 members, put a poster inside your club member. Tell your area director, tell your division director, let them get recognized in an area event, let them get recognized in a division event. Of course you can. See, for an example, speak to your area director. Your area director can bring in a member of the month, member of the week. See, that certain clubs have got. In my club, we have a Toastmaster of the month. Most of the clubs have got Toastmaster of the month. Why I'm just saying my club is, I am there, so I'm just referring. Most of the clubs have got member of the month. Areas have got member of the area. Division, we has to have a division, member of the division. Have these things, give them enough recognition. Of course, we are all here to feel good factor. Give them the respective recognition, but nothing material here. If I'm getting the question right. Yes, Monisha. Next question.
Next question is, show direct correlation. Okay. Can we have a directory of the heads of district teams whose help coach will need?
Definitely. See, we have as a district, we have a web page. In a web page, there is a complete numbers given. When the leadership team is there. Probably we don't have the numbers there. Maybe a core head numbers alone. Maybe if the members are that particular specific, and I can just recommend this to the top trio. Like just in case few members, if they are ready to given their numbers, they are okay to give the numbers. Maybe you can give the numbers there. We can. As of now, we don't have a directory. See, but again, when I was an AD and DD and all, we used all the area directors. We used to have a handbook. It listed all the numbers. Maybe we can just try to bring in a repository of numbers. It's a very good question. It is a thought-provoking question. As a district, we can just bring in an initiative of publicizing few numbers of at least with the respective committee heads. It's easier for an individual to reach. Yeah.
The next question is, our club members are active in educational pathways. How to motivate them to see the goodness outside the club and participate at area or district level? Finding it difficult to motivate to take large.
Got it. Not what. See, tell them what is the benefit. See, for an example, when I came to Toastmasters, my fellow club members here will vouch for it. I came to Toastmasters. Till my 6th speech, I used to sweat profusely. Profusely in the sense what? It's dripping wet, I'll sweat. My VP asked me once, Kalyan, you need an ambulance or something, is what he asked me actually. I became a mentor. After becoming a mentor, after becoming a coach, after coming out into roles, when I become, see, for an example, my very first district division conference chair, I asked my co-chair, what is the meaning of trio? This is how I was actually. But the moment I saw all these things is when it came to be a very different learning altogether. Bring them on. Of course, it's going to be very difficult to bring them on board, especially in online. See, for an example, anybody from TLA team, how many people work for this particular event from TLA team? Total numbers? Raman?
5 people, sir.
5. See, look at this. So 5 people, we have 100 plus events. Immediately, there is a leadership opportunity for 500 people. Speak to them, tell them this is what you will get. The moment I see value, I will not see it as a Sunday morning or a Sunday night or a midnight or anytime. For an example, when we used to be an ADDD and we used to have certain questions, we used to chat in the Toastmasters thing. This Toastmasters is open only of mountain time. We used to type wait at 1 o'clock and then call for chartering few clubs. I still remember for Loyola, Gayatri used to call 1 o'clock in the night for the club to get started, because we are waiting for a division conference. The moment you see value, explain to them. People don't know. In a TLA event, what is that they will get in a TLA event? What a Zoom master, what he will learn. That's how they explain to them. Automatically, people will come on board. See, one particular thing which differentiates ordinary people and the Toast. Ordinary people in the sense, why are not Toastmaster pattern? We have come here to learn. We want to do something extra to that particular in our life. Tell them what all we are going to get. Automatically, they will come. Create values. Tell them this is the value you will get. We will definitely pitch in. Otherwise, see this organization? It is completely run by a volunteer force. How many division directors? How many area directors? How many district officers? How many people? How many team members? That's how it is.
One more question. As a club coach, what should be my first step? Can you please give a breakup of activities based on the timeline for coaches?
Absolutely. I'll send you the slide. I think I'm clear. I told you week-wise what you are supposed to do, month-wise what you're supposed to do. I'll quick run it. Right. Take a SWOT in the first week. Bring it. Say, okay, a club coach, understand the club, do a SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. Then get on to appointing members, start education sessions, handhold the club. Maybe I'll just send you that we'll take, note that name. We'll also send the whole PPT or 2-3 slides around. Maybe we can just send it to all the participants. It's a pure roadmap. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we answered all the questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kalyan. Yeah, it was very detailed, well-structured session.
Thank you.
So feedback link will be shared in the chat box. You can share your feedback over the session. Yeah, we have one last question. You are assigned as a club coach, but the meeting is not happening. What to do?
It will not happen. That's why you are assigned as a club coach. Why you are assigned as a club coach? Because the meetings are not happening. That's why you've been assigned as a club coach. Bring that interest. That's what I told you. Put 3 to 4 meetings, run a demo meeting. See, okay, you are assigned as a club coach. When at least there are 1 to 12 members, you are assigned as a club coach. Only 3 members. And then they are not interested. Tell them, hey, look, I'll bring in an education speech. In that particular meeting, have education session and TT alone. These 3 people will speak. And next week, run a demo meeting there. See, there are I told you before, a lot of people need speech slots. Every club there is a recommend for a speech slot. VPs will be happy. Then they will go take them on, give them speech. Then give them a complete meeting experience. So then make them speak. I told it's a process. Week 1, go. At Kalyan, nothing is working. First 4 weeks, go with education sessions. There are people in this fraternity. They are ready to come take sessions. Education session, table topics. 1 hour meeting. Start with 1 hour. Then move on to 1.5 hours or 2 hours. The day one, if you are thinking about, see, I'll tell you something. Remove the DCP and the member pressure of a club coach. You will be an excellent club coach. If you are going to steer everything having DCP and the member strength in mind, you cannot work. Bring them value. Okay, what's wrong what's harm if we take 5-7 sessions also only education session? So publicize that, let other members from other club also will come. Automatically it will improve. It's a process. It will not happen overnight. There is a input-output time.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kalyan.
Thank you.
So it's time to have a poll. So Zoom Master, I request you to launch the poll in chat.
I hope the poll questions are visible.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Kalyan, while the polls are going on, may I add a point?
Anytime, ma'am. All the points which I told you are only your points. So that is not adding the point. You should say, Kalyan, I'll also, you missed this, I missed coming there. Feel free, ma'am.
No. What I'm saying is a pointer for people who are trying to set up new clubs, as coaches, as sponsors and mentors. When you go to a corporate, first of all, please make sure that you are in touch with the decision makers over there. That is one. When you're having a demo, don't call the trio immediately. Go on a hierarchy level basis. Depending on the level in the corporate, take your area director or your division director. Then when you're meeting the CEO or whatever, then you take your trio. So that, very often the trio is sitting and talking to a junior manager who has no decision-making capacity. Or you're having the demo only for trainees. Make sure they're decision makers and make sure that when you have the demo, the potential members are there. We have had experiences where we do 2 demo meetings and each time they say, oh, those are trainees, they're going away after 3 months. Then why are we having this meeting? Ensure that the target audience is there for your demo meeting. Ensure that the decision makers are there. Ensure that the HR is involved at every stage. And if you can organize some kind of credits in the learning department, make sure that, every time they attend here, they get 1 point learning credit or whatever. Immediately, the interest and incentive also starts for them. Back to you, Sai.
Precisely. What happens is in few clubs, they have directly mapped Toastmaster pathways to their internal, appraisal, what technical term, I do not know. I don't have that in my company.
KRA.
So, KRA. Yeah, okay. So that they works that way. And precisely.
Also, one more thing to add is don't start a club because they have money.
Very true.
That's very, very important.
Exactly.
Okay. Some people will say, oh, I have budget this year. Yeah, this is a blank check. You can go and start 2 clubs, 3 clubs.
Exactly.
Do a proper due diligence, because that is setting it up for failure. If you just go blindly and say, because they have money, I'm starting a club. The honeymoon will be, the marriage and the honeymoon will be very good, but it will obviously be short-lived. Okay, so
that's what Satish, most important, maximum 25 members. A new club, 25 members. Stop at 25. No, I have a budget for 50 people. My L&D budget is for 50. I have 50. Start with 25, and then slowly we can add.
Other thing which I wanted to add in that, no, see, somebody would have the budget, but you should also understand whether the people need that particular initiative.
Very true, Satish.
We have a scenario where we walked into a club which was not kind of running, and we asked what is the reason. He said, I don't know, last year somebody came, they said, please help us, we had the money, we chartered a club. Do you think our members need it? The guy said, no, I don't think anybody here needs the club. So
no, that happens. People say, okay, I don't even know I'm a part of this group. That's all. See, we do due diligence. We have a form. We have a new club form. The CGD team has got a form which it was started with when Satish was CGD, and Reena and Satish brought the document to the district. That document is still with the team, and then there is a beautiful due diligence form which have some questions. As of now, it is in a text form. We are making that as a form question answer. It is just a Word document we have. We are making it as a Q&A, so that we will just send the due diligence form to all the club sponsors who are just coming out of the club, which will just to have more clarity. It's not a test here, to have more clarity on what to see. By answering these questions, automatically you are going to know what to see and what not to miss.
And also adding to the point on places where you are going, having a corporate clubs and people constantly saying that they don't have time to come and attend meeting. See if the club is sponsoring, like management is sponsoring for the membership fees, and try to connect it with their membership fee reimbursement, like the number of speeches that they deliver as part of the engagement. Try to connect it with the reimbursement process. That way, your turnout ratio will be really high. This is something which we practically saw as working strategy with HCL.
There are 3 more clubs where I have mentored in that particular club. That's what they need to show. Earlier it was CC. Now they need to show their certificate. See, in Toastmaster, I don't know, I should not be saying this, but I do not know when now that particular system is there. Earlier, when you used to file a CC, it will ask whether do you want this email to go to your superior. Ma'am, Neena ma'am, do you have this in Pathways now? That used to be a beautiful thing. When I used to file awards, we used to ask for a superior name, and then the mail will go to their superiors, and then it will be a beautiful thing. Ma'am, we have that in Pathways. Sampath sir, Neena
Yeah, it's there for level 3, 4, and 5.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Earlier we used to have for all the levels, but now it has been changed to level 3, 4, and 5.
Then taking Vidya's input, we can just ask the specific person, hey, look, I'm going to file an award. VPs can do that, and area directors can just educate VPs that, hey, I'm going to file an award. You want this to be notified to any of your senior members. Then there comes interest. Senior member is thinking, okay, what is this? Okay, then that is how it comes in, because certain senior managers don't even know there is a Toastmaster club function. Because see, 1,500 member organization, they don't even know there is a Toastmaster club function in that organization. This mail can be a trigger. I'll always say create triggers. Things will start.
Poll results, you can view the poll results. So it's nice to see that all of you have understood the core of the club mentor and sponsor roles. Now, a mentor link will be shared in the chat. It's time to sum up what we have learned. So you can share your 3 takeaways from the session. So Zoom Master, can you please share the Mentimeter link? It would be interesting to see what we have learned in a word cloud format. So it's been shared. You can share your 3 takeaways from today's session. Okay, sponsor, passionate, creating a value, which was the main point which has been highlighted. Learn as your mentor, create belongingness, another main point. It's nice to see all the value addition, learning aspects, motivating members, encouraging to take roles, coach responsibilities. Yeah, having the known responsibilities of the coach. A clear roadmap. Oh, you can see how beautiful it's turning. Okay. Leadership. Now, we are coming to the end of the session. My sincere appreciation to the TLI chair, TLI team, Srinath, and timer Vignesh, and all district officers and all those who made this session possible. But my most sincere appreciation to the audience for being a lovely audience and making this journey engaging by their lively participation. So thank you all. We are now arrived at the destination, that is the end of the session, but don't worry, we all meet you soon on the next journey. Until then, let's grab a cup of coffee or tea and catch up with our fellow Toastmasters in the networking session. So Zoom floor is now open for the networking.